So, here I am, sitting on top of my motorcycle, as the freight elevator slowly brings me up to the top floor. I light a cigarette, taking a long drag and blowing out a thick cloud of smoke, as the glass window shows me the view outside of the tower. Just sitting here, like I've done countless times before on my motorcycle, waiting to reach the top. Suddenly, the entire tower shakes around me. I look into the distance to see one of the nearby towers crumbling. A massive explosion of fire and black smoke. Dust, debris, and rubble kick up in every direction. I doubt there's anyone in the city who didn't hear that, or feel it for that instance. I really should thank them for all the help, that is. I definitely wouldn't have been able to pull this off without them. But my job's far from done just yet. But they do throw one hell of a party. I'm only sorry I couldn't be there to help out. But as I said, I have my own job to take care of. But maybe you want a little bit more context to understand exactly how I got to this point. And to tell you the truth, that's a pretty complicated story. There really is a lot to it. But I suppose if you're willing to hear it, it's only fair that I be willing to tell it. So, buckle up. This is gonna be one hell of a ride. All of this crap started about a year ago. The year in question was 2486. At the time, I was fairly busy at work. A small auto shop called Al's Auto. My boss, Al, was, well, a grumpy old bastard. And that's putting it mildly. He used to be a champion boxer and pulled in a fair amount of coin in his day. But after a serious arm injury took him out of the ring, he invested what money he had left into a small auto shop here in the ruins of Newgate City, far outside of the safe, comfy inner walls of Newgate. Basically, living in ruins. But that's really the best anyone outside of the walls could ever hope to accomplish, is really just surviving. There at Al's Auto, our primary customers, if you can call them that, are nothing more than a bunch of degenerate thugs, gang members, and things like that. They were really the only people who could afford to have running automobiles. But as long as the coin was there, we'd fix their car regardless of who they were. In the 100 or so years since the end of the Great War, humanity has been in a bit of a rebuilding process. So finding people who actually have running cars is a bit of an issue. At the moment, I was currently underneath something of a large SUV, decked out with shabby armor and some weapon attachments that weren't really done that well. But fixing that wasn't really our job. No, we were specifically hired to work on the engines. Motors, that's what we fixed. Motors don't kill people. For whatever reason, Al simply thought of it as better that way. You can't blame the engine for the person driving it, he says. But to be honest, helping out shiftless murderers doesn't really feel good regardless. Currently, the piece of crap I was working on was giving me a bit of trouble, but most cars tended to. 100 years worth of wear and tear makes just about everything. A massive pain in the ass to deal with. "Hey, brat, you done with the work yet?" I hear Al shout. "No, old man, I still got some work to do," I reply from underneath the car. You know, just once, I wish there was a bolt without rust on it. I'd give my left freaking leg for just one bolt without rust. "Oh, shut the hell up, kid. Just do your job. You're taking all day with that crap." "Calm your ass, old man," I replied. "The work'll get done when it gets done. I can't do it any faster. Unless you want me to screw it up, that is." "Don't get that wise-ass tone with me, boy," Al replied, in his usual gruff tone. "Unless your ass thinks you can find another job. I mean, really, why did I waste all that time teaching you how to fix an engine if you can't do it with any sort of speed? I'm an old man, and I bet I could do it faster than you. Is that what you're at now, kid? Getting outdone by crippled old men?" Al said. "In your dreams, old man," I replied, sliding my way off from under the engine, as I had finally put the last bolt in place. I got up, reaching into the cab of this car, turning the key and hearing the engine roar to life. I gave it a minute to make sure that everything was running smoothly. "Wow, it sounds like you didn't screw up. It must be a miracle," Al said, snidely, scratching the gruff stubble on his chin. "Yeah, real funny, old man. You know, it was almost as funny as the last 500 times you said it." "Hey, you want to get your ass kicked by an old man?" he replies. Yeah, I said, trying to wipe some of the grease and grime off onto my shirt, as I closed the door, turning off the engine before I did. "Well, it looks like one more gang member can roll away in their hunk of crap. Okay, old man, I think it's time for me to get home. They should be happy with their running hunk of rust. I'll be back in tomorrow after they pick it up for payment." "Yeah, whatever, kid. Don't get yourself killed on the trip," Al said as I exited the shop, hopping on board a beat-up old dirt bike that I used to travel around, starting it up and beginning to make my way home, passing by numerous abandoned buildings and the endless series of scrap cars stripped for everything they're worth, laying on the side of the road, sometimes not even the side. Lots of them were still in the middle of the street, so it was a bit of a swerving contest to get through them. Not too difficult at a slow pace. I had to wear a mask as always. The dust and debris around here is just ridiculous. I figured that massive skyscrapers in every direction would block out some of this crap. But even in the middle of this torn down city, half the time it still felt like you were in a desert. Dust piling up on everything. Everything covered in rust and falling to bits. Eventually, I made it home. An old metal factory that I had claimed as my abode many years ago. After pulling my dirt bike in and parking it, I crashed out on my small mat bed, betting that tomorrow is just gonna be another round of crap. I do eventually get to bed though. Unfortunately, I'm woken up by a sharp pain in my head. "Ow! What the hell?" I shout. "Oh, it looks like you're up," I hear a female voice announce. "Well, now that you're up and around, you can help me out. I'm gonna need you to do me a solid. But don't worry, there'll be something good in it for you. I have got the score of a lifetime." As my eyes finally creak open, gripping my head while I'm laying in bed, I look up to see a tall, slender figure wearing a tight leather outfit, all red patchwork, and long flowing red hair. It looks like it was Emily. One of my oldest friends, I suppose you could call her. Back again on another one of her get-rich-quick schemes. If there's one thing that there's no doubt of, it's that this was gonna be trouble. It always was with Emily.